All right, everyone, welcome to the midweek market wrap up with myself, Michael Nauss from StatsEdgeTrading. What we do in the middle of every week is just kind of see the last few days of trading and what has happened, what we could potentially expect going into the end of the week. Where at the end of the week, on the weekend, I take a big step back and we look at weekly charts. We go through tons and tons of charts. This is kind of a halfway point to that end of week video. So if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, make sure you go to StatsEdgeTrading.com, sign up for the email list. That way this video is just emailed directly to you. I always appreciate all the thumbs up, the comments, the likes. It really helps the algo pick everything up. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the charts. And as always, we're going to start with Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, we've talked about on the weekly video, this prior resistance right here it's been struggling with. And now it's been hanging out here for almost 2 weeks, not able to get much further. So waiting to see what happens in this zone, if we can get some sort of push. Full disclosure, I am long Bitcoin. I bought a bunch on this break and I bought a little bit more in this zone right here. So I've got a pretty good average still, protecting that now. So in barring any sort of craziness, it'll be a can't lose scenario. But I would be interested to see if we can bust through this $36 a share. Now, couple of the interesting, we should just get rid of some of these, but a couple of the interesting Forex pairs that I've been watching, mainly around the dollar. And we'll take a look at the DXY to know why, right? This big push up in the dollar led to a lot of bearishness in equities. Ever since then, we've been just kind of chopping sideways, but we broke down from the dollar, rallied to it, and you can see kind of two topping tails. And anyone who's followed me for any length of time will tell you this is one of my favorite setups. If you have a break of clean support, a retest of that support, and then a failure, I love that. And then obviously inverse on the upside, showing that this level of importance is now switching its energy, right? There was buyers here before. Those buyers got knocked out of the position. So now when it rallies back up, they're met with sellers. So if this rolls over, that's going to be a positive for equities for sure. And you can see that if we take a look at some of these cross pairs, like the euro, which is a big part of the Dixie. You can see all these topping tails. So this 1067 area was a big deal. Came back down to it twice, two bottoming tails. So full disclosure, I'm long some euro. Looking to see if this pattern can continue. We can get a push up into, I don't know, this area right here at least. And then maybe we start to kind of come and retest, try to challenge anchored VWAP highs right above here. So if we get through that, then that switches this anchored VWAP scenario. Now, also want to look at the yen. The yen's always an interesting one to play. Still coming to new highs here. It's just every time the Bank of Japan says, hey, we're going to defend our currency, market doesn't care. To me, it feels like could be something that goes bad in the long run. But so far, still an incredibly bullish uptrend in euro dollar. So now let's grab here and we're going to get into some stocks. So we're going to go, this is one of my favorite screens that we built in Trade Ideas on the web version. So this works on your phone, works on whatever it is you're looking at, where you can just go change from the close and I can see what sectors are going, what sectors are interesting. Like solar just can't get out of bed. It just continues to push lower here on solar. Bonds. Now I want to go through some of the stuff. We have bonds. We have real estate. Sorry, we have materials and we have industrials, and they're kind of leading the charge today. And we have had all of energy and metals down pretty hard today. So that's making me think we have a little flight to safety. We're still in this bifurcated market, and I'll explain why. It's really because the market's not going anywhere. So when the market's going nowhere, either all stocks on planet Earth are going nowhere, or it means that they're mixed, right? Some stocks are up, some stocks are down. There's a mixed bag going on here. And you can see the last 3 days, 1, 2, 3, we've done nothing. So I'm actually still watching this zone right here, this gap. If we are in this gap right here, I'm going to be a little bit worried because last time we fought with this gap and failed, this is what happened. Wouldn't be shocked to see if maybe it happens again. That would make a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern if we find buyers before then. Or we have a big overextended condition here, right? And you got to remember that overbought conditions don't mean the market's going down. Sometimes it just means the market needs to chill out a bit. So we may be seeing that now. We may be seeing a handful of days of just absolutely nothing and then moving on from there. So I am still in the phase where I'm starting to collect stocks that are basing, but I think I'm going to wait until the weekend to really sit down and hammer out my list. I've taken a few trades here or there, but nothing crazy because we are overextended. And I talked about in the weekend video, if you want to check that out, why when the market's overextended, I usually like to sit on my hands and wait for some sort of pullback or consolidation. Really, because I'm long a bunch of stuff still. I took profits on Friday as things rallied into this support. The rest of my positions are just hanging on. So there's not really much for me to do. You got to remember, I don't have unlimited buying power. So I need to make sure that I'm picking my when to get involved and when not to get involved wisely. So if you want to make sure you have access to everything that I'm going to add to that watch list on Friday, make sure you go to StatsEdgeTrading.com, sign up for the email. I usually email my watch list at the end of the day. I always do it. I just haven't really added anything to it in the last little while. There's not a lot really to do. So I will talk to you guys soon. Trade safe.